I'm humbled and honored to be here on this very honorable invitation by Dharma Civilization Foundation, Param Pujya Swamiji on the dais, Adaniya Shrikant Patkar ji, Adaniya Manohar Shinde Dada who will join in the evening, and very respectful audience here. Namaste, Sadhe Vandan. Where Swamiji ended, throughout his discourse, I was just wondering from where should I begin. And I planned many beginnings, but then at the end, we realized that there is a beginning, middle and end, but not always in that order. So I would start from somewhere end. Today is World Environment Day. And when Swamiji was talking about uprooting all the trees and not taking enough care of the environment and then, behaving as in our own selfish motives, being a lover of languages, I was just thinking that in almost all languages, there is a single word given for inner and outer. For example, Prakriti. So Prakriti is Manviya Prakriti as well as Prakriti as we see. In Urdu it is called Kudrat. In English it is called nature. So there cannot be two different words for the inner and outer. We are synced. Yat Pindeta Brahmandi. Whatever happens within us, and the first thing happens within us, then only its part, minuscule, is reflected outside. There is nothing which is happening outside and not happening within. So we can understand that actually within we are sitting on the, what sort of blast. So many blasts are happening within us. And then the particles are only shown outside, which is a very dangerous situation, I must say. So when we talk about Dharma, there are many words. Swamiji, you have rightly put up so many words. We don't have synonyms. But the two things which Dharma has given, and I'm not saying Dharma means only Sanatan, only Bharatiya, only ours, only Vedic. No, Dharma, as whosoever understands in whatever manner. There are two words which have no synonym, but which are the seat of Dharma. And they are the Pragya and Vivek. No synonym. What is Pragya? What is Vivek? How we are all constituted? Do someone have to tell us how do we have to behave? Will any book tell us? Will any fear tell us? We are all driven towards the end, towards the mrityu, towards the moksha. But what about the life we are living? Why we are not afraid of the day-to-day life, but only one day? When we are saying no book can tell us, because it's our life, it's our experiences, it's our own day-to-day take on life, it tells us where to go. Like Duryodhana says, Janami me dharma, but now me prakriti. Janami me adharma, now me nivriti. I know what is dharma, but that is not my way of living. I know what is adharma, but I can't be away from it. This is what I am. So if it is up to that level, that all the selection is mine, all the choices are mine, then who can teach dharma to whom? And what is dharma? And I think this reality we have understood long back. And that is the reason we don't have dharma granth. Of course, it's a blemish on us. Many people say it's a blemish. We don't have any Dharma Grantha. Fine, we don't have. Why? Because we have Jnana Granth. And what is the difference between Dharma Granth and Jnana Granth? Jnana Granth are dynamic and Dharma Granth are static. You can't change, you can't debate, you can't argue. You have to accept as it is. And they are called Dharma Grantha. And what is Jnana Granth? Jnana Granth is resulting into 200 versions of Ramayana. We celebrate Ravan as a dancer, Ravan as a Shiva Bhakt, Ravan as a Veena player, and we also celebrate Ram, who is the killer of Ram, Sanghara Karta. So for us, dialogue is important, discussion is important. Inquiry, that's what Swamiji also said. Inquiry is important. Don't accept anything as it is. We have to question, even if it is a question on dharma. Because as I said, it's a personal choice, which way to go. I know what is dharma, but I don't want to go on that. It's fine. So unless and until I put an inquiry, how do I know which is my path? And which is away or syncing with your path? So how are we constituted? What are those components? And in my view, I will take you to Charak Samhita, where they say there are 5 types of illness, 5 diseases. And if you see, these are the 5 very components which actually constitute us. The first type of disease is mental, manasik, man. The second type of disease is hriday, heart, bhav. The third type of disease is sharir, vyadhi, bimari. The fourth type of disease is, now these two are very distinguished type of diseases. He says fourth is vani and fifth is agyan. They are also diseases. Charak Samhita, which is the father of healthcare document, first healthcare document, which comes authentically documented, noted. They list these 5 types of diseases. And then it gives upachar. So first he says, what is mental, manasik? My views don't match with your views. Mera manasik darshan alag hai, aapka alag hai. So if we are different, then what is the cure? The cure is darshan, samvad. But if you see the upachar today, where the samvad has come? To vad, vivad and atankavad. We have given away the speeches to the tools, extended tools. And what are the extended tools? The guns, the bombs. When we can't speak our mind, our hands would speak. So we have gone up to that vad. So upachar itself is contaminated today. The second is hriday, bhav. We are not true to ourselves. We are not happy to see someone, but if the person meets, we say, oh, we were thinking about you. Not so honest with our own bhav. So what happens? Our acid level increases and it actually kills us. We are not happy. Where is the happiness? We are not happy. Wherever we are not satisfied and thinking somewhere else. Actually, we are meant for that, but we are here. So we are not enjoying neither that nor this. So there is a gap. And the upachar is sahitya. Normally it's asked, why should we read scriptures? Sahitya. And sahitya doesn't mean someone else has written, so you just have to open and read it. Sahitya is lekhan, manan, chintan, vachan, pathan. It's a comprehensive exercise. You have to go that deep into it. That is sahitya. That will purify us. Not each and every experience we can have ourselves. So where are the gaps? Sahitya will tell. How do we know what is death? Sahitya has told us. How do we know the demons were killed? Sahitya has told us. How do we talk about our long parampara? And by the way, parampara is a beautiful word. Suhaji is here. I am not delving into the linguistics, Suhaji, before you, but parampara is para and apara. That creates a parampara. Then, what has happened today? Sahitya. See the deliverance of Sahitya. It is through movies, through TV serials, through literatures published here and there, through stories. Are they genuine? What are we watching? How we are getting our entertainment? It's not purifying, it's contaminating all the more. Then the third vyadhi they talk about is vyadhi. Sharir. And the Upchar is Ayurveda, balancing all the 5 elements. But see what we are doing, we are going to an allopath who in return is giving us a side effect. So a flu becomes COVID. In return, there is a reaction to our Upchar also. Then the 4th is Vani. And Vani has created the biggest losses in the world, starting from Ramayana till date. We have never bothered about Vani. And I am reminded of a small sheikh, Firaq Gorakhpuri. मैं चुप रहा तो उनकी बदगुमानियां बढ़ती गई, वो भी सुना उसने जो मैंने कहा नहीं. So, how do we use our words? To whom? For whom? Our own people. But we are so careless. So the Upchar is Vaiyakaran. And that is like owning the last meaning. Don't say मेरा मतलब नहीं था. I never meant this. Each and every earth meaning is going to be your matlab. Don't forget. Then the last is Agyan, ignorance. And we think the normal answer to cure Agyan is knowledge. The most knowledgeable person will also remain ignorant in some or other area. So knowledge is not the cure of ignorance. And the wonderful cure what Charak Samhita suggests is Natya. What Natya can teach to ignorant people, no level of literature or inseminated Gyan can teach. That is why Leelas were so important. If God can do, I can me. If that can happen on the stage, that is the specimen. Now that is the Udaharan. So we take Udaharan from Leelas, from Kavya, from Sangeet, from stories, from ballads, from odes. These are the things we have to come up. So out of this we understood that 2 things are important from Dharma Granth and Gyan Granth. One is called Jangam and another is called Isthavar. Isthavar is static. So we have static fields. So we go to Char Dham, which are there only, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Yamunotri, Gangotri, Puri, Dwarikaji, Rameshwaramji, like that. There is Isthavar fields. We have to go there and be there and then come back. But that doesn't cure us. So there is something which is called Jangam. And Jangam is dynamic. Jangam is like the rivers, the confluences. And unless and until we meet, unless and until we talk, I'm happy to see so many youngsters today here. And forget youngsters, even my generation or younger than me and all. What are we doing today? We are writing on the walls. So we have Facebook wall, Twitter wall, Instagram wall. These are all walls, right? We write on the walls and we want replies from the humans. So if my DP is not liked within a second, I am in depression. If my friend's post is liked and not mine, I go up to divorce. And it's happening. These walls are really affecting my mental health. We are becoming all the more lonely. My youngsters are not sharing their problem, forget with parents, even with the friends. I'm sorry to reverse the order. It's with a purpose. Because where are the parents? A child is born and the first sentence the parent says, I am the friend. If you are the friend, who will do the parenting? The child doesn't take you as a friend. Child have their own friend. They have their own friends. They will treat you as a friend only when they want something. You are in a rush to call yourself as a friend, and in that race, the parents have outsourced everything to the school, and to the society. Rituals will be taught by the society and manners will be taught by the school. So parents are missing. When parents are missing, a child is in oblivion, doesn't know where to go, how to go, what to do. Have you ever looked back and seen how much non-sharing has crept into our day-to-day life? We are not sharing anything. I'm sorry to say in Bharat today, the student suicide has surpassed the farmer suicide. It pains young children, their parents. Why so much of loneliness? Which dharma will come and teach me to be together, to talk to each other, to bear the pain and frustration and anger? We have become intolerant. No anger should be shown to me. No depression should be shown to me. Always smiling faces, good, happy moods. We never say, do whatever you do in the world, but come back home, we are here. This is what we want. Acha, bura, sacha, jhoota. Everything is for the society to judge. Are we there to judge our own people? Where are the markers? And that is the reason when the young generation puts question, we just stop it at the base. We don't, no questions please, no question. Either you accept it or okay, don't talk. Not talking has become the solution. So we need to talk. We need to, maybe not fight or whatever, but show your moods. Show your moods. Because moods are important. They are the base of dharma. When we talk of dharma, we are there to talk about each and every mood. This falsifying, gratifying of ahimsa, our dharma doesn't teach it that way. Our dharma has so many examples where sakshara vipritaha rakshasaha bhavanti. What sort of this pseudo-literacy and pseudo-intellectualism we are living into in a coiled, sophisticated world which actually blocks the basic human emotions? We need to talk to ourselves. And then comes the question of this bubble of great elevation, Vishwa Guru. We have to come out of this bubble. Don't be so much into the fluffiness that we forget the crux. If we call ourselves Vishwa Guru, then where is the base? The base is in that continuity of civilization which has saved us even now. So we have to go to those roots which have actually become sustainable. When we talk of dharma and digital age, digital age will not bring sustainability, but dharma will. Dharma is the most sustainable thing on the earth, and that is why it is never outdated. Those also who say we are not dharmic also want to be ethical. And ethics are the base of dharma. When we put ethical questions on Kunti and Sita and Draupadi, we actually don't go and put inquiries into Mahabharata or Ramayana. This entire so-called developed world believes only one Praman, and that is Pratyaksh Praman. Whatever is there, validated through only senses. We say this is final and all others are mythology. I was laughing out yesterday when we were coming in the car from airport. I say if he tells his story, it's history. But if I try to tell my story, it's mystery. So don't call everything mystery. It's not only mythology. When we talk of Pavan Putra, Ganga Putra, Yagya Saini, Akash Putra, that means we have 5 elements. Prathivya Putro Aham, we are born out of earth, so this is one element, but there are 4 other elements, and Mahabharata gives you the birth line of each element. So say Pavan Putra is Numam, that means air can bear some human or entity, energy. Then Bhishma is Ganga Putra, that is Jal. Nakul and Sahadev are Akash Putra, space. Draupadi is born out of fire, so Yagya. So 4 other elements are left to be found out how the birth takes place, because Prithvi will only be biogenetic. For Prithvi Janma we need this body, Sharir. Not necessarily in all other 4 tattvas we need body. They might have their own methods, but we have examples of 4 other types of tattvas giving Janma. So don't put questions without putting inquiries. This entire thing, of Draupadi and Kunti, of having 5 husbands, fine. I'm not going because that will be a diversion of the topic and that will be very long into it. But look at the traditions of single mothers and strong single mothers we have. Sita, Kunti, Draupadi, Hidimba, Chitrangana, Uttara, so many queens are there who raise their children alone. And what into they actually made them were Chakravarti Rajas. So we have a lineage over there. When I talk about Jangam and Sthavar, that means Sthavar is the base. So what should be the base of life? The base should be Kartavya. And what should be Jangam? The Jangam should be Kalyan. We don't teach about Kartavya and Kalyan, and we talk only about Adhikar. Right. So I am a woman, and when I had a large university and I see there that there are so many applications keep coming for maternity leaves, and now we are happy that maternity leaves have gone to 6 months, and we talk about rights and human rights. It really takes me back to our Sabhyata, and I put a question, really? Before that we have not given maternity rights to women at all? And then when we revisit to our parampara, we find that to whom we are giving these 6 months leave? Only to women who are earning in a secure job. Only a money earning woman. If the woman is not in the job, not in a secure job, forget any human right. But if we revisit our culture, then whether it is a Rani or a Dasi, if she gives birth, it is Chalis Din Ka Sutak for everyone. And in 40 days, you will gain the strength and come back to life. What type of adhikar are we making prominent with? Based on money, comparative, relative. We need to understand certain things as part of dharma. I visited St. Paul's Church in London, and my reason was because I wanted to see Dr. Johnson's statue. Being an English literature student, I wanted to see that statue. What I found behind that was Sir William Jones's statue. And I must say, if ever you have a chance, please go and visit that. It will raise your hair with the way the statue is there. Sir William Jones, the first Chief Justice appointed by East India Company in Kolkata, which was the beginning of the British rule for say. His statue is built over there. On his statue, he has his elbow rested like that on a book. And on the book, in Devanagari, it is written Manu. Manu Smriti. He is resting on a hand on Manu Smriti, and there is a platform. On the platform, there is Ganga as a Istri in Ek Vastra, and on the surroundings are Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and two biblical figures are encompassing the entire platform. And there is a narration of all the Vishnu avatar, and Kurma avatar is at the top, and then other avatars are there. And you wonder why? Why Sir William Jones' statue be like that? There are the people who said our entire history will be adjusted in just one cupboard. India has nothing to offer, we are the most illiterate people. And then you go and see the books what Sir William Jones actually started translating or got it translated through the first translation school in Kolkata, Madrasa in Bengal in 1871, and then after 10 years in Kashi, bringing the Kashmiri Pandits over there. What he was doing? He was actually getting those texts translated which talk about Mahapralay, the great flood. Only those texts, whether it is Manusmriti or Shakuntalam or Mahabharata or many other such. Why? The reason was that Voltaire has refuted the theory of great floods in Bible. And France was disowning Bible, saying that there was never been a great flood. And here are the proofs, the wettings in these granthas which talk about Mahapralay. So these were actually validating the Bible's theory of great flood. We need to connect the sources. Don't follow each and everything blindly, but go back to the roots, revisit the roots. That is Dharma. Unless and until we go and understand genealogies, the legacies, since we are here and many of us use the word diaspora, I would say if you go to a dictionary, they would say, okay, it's a Greek word, dia and diaspora. But we are much before the Greeks traveled, we found in Indian scriptures how the Indians were traveling all around, and diaspora is a Sanskrit word, dui and spur, which is spirit at two places, which is sprouted at two places. Why I have to mention this here? Because it's very apt to say that we are not living in two worlds, one is intellectual and one is physical, though of course we are living like that. We need to understand that the first reality is the physical world, and then comes the intellectual world. The Vivek is the first guiding force, and then comes Pragya. And that's how we have to go ahead. I would end with only one or two anecdotes. The first is, about 10 years back, we heard there is a Nobel Prize for a German scientist who actually established that whatever we speak never dies. It remains somewhere, and then if we can collect those sounds and put it on frequency, we can actually hear it again. So my conclusion is, we call Akshar. Since time immemorial, we call it Akshar, which doesn't die at all. And in Mahabharata, when Bhishma Pitama was in Sharshaya and was about to take a prayer, requests Krishna to show the Vishwaroop. And when Krishna shows the Vishwaroop, Bhishma Pitama, he narrates the Stuti. And once the Stuti was over, because everyone was there, Kauravas, Pandavas, all their allies, they had great respect for Bhishma Pitama. So they felt sorry that, such beautiful Stuti and we have not recorded it. So Nakul and Sahadev, they just Sahadev collected all and this is in the Mahabharata, we can read even today. So they collected all the sounds, and the granth which came out of it was Vishnu Sahasranam. And we all recite that even today. So when we talk about it, it's mythology. And the Nobel Prize is taken away by a German scientist. Because we just claim, but we don't put into applicability. The youngest generation today have the problem of application. They say, okay, we trust you, we had the initial grant and everything. Where is the application? Why we are not working for applicability? So the correct approach towards dharma in the digital age would be that digital age is nothing but the tool. It is nothing but the data. Whatever data we put into it will just give us the results out of that. In Bharat today, every month, each month there is a new gold loan bank. Yeah, that's the reality, gold loan bank. And if you see the data, what is the women's contribution to economic? It will be in minuscules. Why? Who runs these gold loan banks? I have not seen in India men wearing golds, only we wear gold. So whose gold is going there at the gold loan banks? Who is putting their gold into the gold loan banks? Why we are not using it as the actual data? So we as academic researchers are failing hugely, not creating the true fields, not coming out with the true research, not talking about the scriptures as we should have been. Then only, like these sort of conferences are the result of a huge determination. It's not easy to have this annually. But what is the purpose? What is the takeaway? The takeaway is how much after this we are devoted towards it. How many more steps we are supposed to take after it. And that is how we have to go ahead. So I know dharma is a very, very huge ocean-like topic. I wrote something else, but I'm speaking something else. The last thing I can tell you, I was given a very tough job back home. It was in 2017, when we were sent to Jammu Kashmir and do the real ground study, and I was heading a team of about 71 people, and our report was then put up with the parliament, and then the abrogation also happened, taking cue from those reports. When you walk there, then you forget what is dharma. Then you have to live it daily with a new name and a new identity card. Then you have to devote yourself to the purpose you are given the task. Once we were given a task that you have to curb this stone pelting in 10 days. So only 10 days time was given to our team to stop this stone pelting in Srinagar and Nalchok and all. I can tell you, the work what the team did, that the stone pelting did not happen till today after that. And now I give you the simplest solution what our team gave to government and how it is stopped. We just watched for 4-5 days what's happening. And we saw small children in hundreds of number. In the morning, they were asked to collect as many stones as they can in their 2 hands. Put it in the bag and go to school. For each stone, they will get 500 rupees. In one house, there were about 5 to 7 children on an average. You can understand what was the earning. And when they come back, it is asked to throw the stones. So when 700, 800 small children are throwing stones, no one can question them. No policeman or no army or no belt wearing person can do anything. And after that would come the big force. So we just got hold somehow, 2-3 children, and we say, why do you spread this stone? They say, what should we do? We come back from school and we have nothing to do. So why don't you do something on the roads only? Okay, your houses don't have spaces, but on the roads are the army march. So we have no places. So we just suggested the government to create some sports ground. In 1.5 months, government created 75 sports grounds and special buses which would take the students from the school to the playground, and the stone pelting is gone.
Wow.
So, we need to understand, as I said, that physical world is the first reality and then comes the intellectual world. It's a pain that we are neglecting the physical realities, and then entering into the intellectual part of Dharma. We need to sync both. We need to sit and think about it as individually. I humbly thank you, Srikanji, for making me happen here. Thank you so much, and I really take this drishtata to talk about all of you who are the profound thinkers to talk about.